Welcome to this week's episode of Listen to Your Coaches. I'm your coach, Mike Wilkins, here with Coach Will Morrill. And behind the scenes, as always, we have a young Max Gerald. This week, we're going to talk about Fury Grappling, some CFFC, maybe a little UFC. Max has got a fun game for us, and Will's got some questions at the end, I think. But we'll kind of see where it goes. All right, Will, let's take this away.
So you had an eventful weekend, Friday night. Had some fun?
Had some fun. So Friday... woke up bright and early. Andy came over, and we got on the road. We headed to Atlantic City. Lucas Siebert had a grappling match on Fury Grappling, which is an incredible show. I really hope to get more of our athletes on that show. Really hoping to get Claire on there soon.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was a great show. It's Fury Grappling. It's like like a pro grappling card. Ran by CFFC, right? Mm-hmm. The matchmaker for it's Jonathan Webb, longtime friend of mine. So it's really cool to see how
big it is.
Yeah, the production's great, and it was just like it was a super fun event. I'm fully down for doing that as much as we can. But yeah, we were out there because Lucas had a match against Lucas Byrd. Lucas Byrd, the 133-pound national champion this year, representing the University of Illinois. Mm-hmm. So I saw Lucas Byrd's last 6 matches in person, the 5 being the 5 at Nationals, where we were there in March. And then this match against Lucas this time. Very cool. Yeah, it was a good event. Some cool things about the event. The locker room, right? You've been they run Fury Grappling borderline identical to CFFC.
Oh, so right? It's super professional.
Dude. Yeah, super professional. Everything's real easy.
Was Bert there?
Huh?
Was Bert there?
No. No. I don't know if he does that anymore.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. But big locker rooms. There was 5 locker rooms amongst all the athletes. Big locker rooms, mat space to warm up, good facilities. It was at the Hard Rock. Mm-hmm. So it's off the boardwalk. We were traditionally at the Borgata, but since then they've moved to the Hard Rock. But really good environment, too. We had a really good locker room. So some notables in our locker room. So I wasn't in the locker room much during the prelims. That is one difference between a sanctioned MMA fight and a grappling match is it's not regulated by the commission, so I didn't have to we didn't have if that was fights you're in the locker room, locked down. You don't leave the locker room nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But we got to I got to go out and watch some of the early matches, the prelim matches and stuff, so I wasn't in the locker room for the entire time. But when it got time for the main card, had to get down there, get Lucas ready, get him warmed up. We shared a locker room with Zach Muslany. He 10th Planet Black Belt, owns 10th Planet Bethlehem, runs the Finishers series, which is another great grappling competition. We've had several of our athletes compete in that. And real notably to you, you'd probably be excited about, he was a judge for the CJI. And I believe he's going to be, we talked about it a little bit, and, seems like he's going to be judging CJI too as well.
Very cool.
So yeah, so we got to hang out with him. He had a match on that. He's 41, still scrapping. You know what I mean? He was up weight too for this match too. He was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just trying to fire my guys up.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, just trying to fire my guys up." So
that's awesome.
That was real cool. Shared a locker room with Pat Downey, PD3. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
Is he a wild boy?
Oh, I mean, he's a wild boy. Yeah. But he wasn't in the locker room. No, he was, dude. He was more than chill. He was super cool.
Yeah,
dude, just super. Yeah, definitely somebody who if you got to choose locker room partners,
that's who you want.
You want PD3 in your locker room. Yeah, he kept a great vibe in the locker room. Was super friendly. Talking to everybody. Bouncing ideas off of people and stuff. It was really cool. So really liked having to share a locker room with him. That was cool. Fun. But we can I guess get into the match now.
Yeah. Right?
So we go out there. I'll talk a little bit about the game plan. So, first going to drop the rule set here. Now, the rule set for this match was a 6-minute regulation sub-only match, right? Mm-hmm. So 6 minutes, no points, just subs only. In the event of no submission after 6 minutes, it would go to a 2-minute overtime in which first point scored would win. Okay? Part of our game plan was, now I I actually kind of dropped the ball in the rule set because I thought it would go to, and if you go those 2 minutes, no points scored, it's a draw, right? They do a ref's decision if they need to. So when would they need to? Like if it's a title match, like there was 3 title matches on the card, right?
Gotcha.
If it's a tournament match, because they did run a four
Right,
person,
and you need a
a
winner.
4-woman bracket, right? So then they go to ref's decision for things like that. But for like Lucas's match, it would have went to a draw had that happened. So I really thought, like, on the drive out, I was like, look, like Lucas is going to wrestle with him because he told him he wasn't going to pull guard. And like just like off the rip, but like we knew we were going to be playing some guard, because like it'd be cool to get a takedown on Lucas Byrd, but
Kid's real sharp at what he's been doing recently.
Yeah, there's levels to it, and like although Lucas Siebert is definitely a formidable wrestler, especially in a jiu-jitsu aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, because that does change how you wrestle a little bit. Lucas Byrd's national champion.
Yeah.
Right? So, no point in like, trying to ignore that.
Right.
So, but in my head, I'm like, listen, dude, our Lucas Siebert, he's going to get so many sub attempts off that if he doesn't, like, land one, he's going to win the decision due to, like, constantly being on the offense, right? Because Lucas is dynamic and he has a lot of threats from everywhere.
Right.
And what we worked on for this match was, trying to think like, okay, like where can we like exploit this the most? And like, where would you think that would be?
Off your back, I imagine, or
leg locks, right? We're thinking leg locks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining Lucas Byrd doesn't train jiu-jitsu to the level in which Lucas Siebert trains jiu-jitsu, right? He's got whole wrestling seasons and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, like if you're going to run through a crash course, right, you're probably going to be like, the more intricate thing, the harder thing to learn is going to be leg lock defense. Right. So it was kind of like, all right, let's go there. That's where it's going to be the hardest for him to like crash course.
Exactly.
So working heel hooks, playing a lot of 50-50 position, stuff like that, really like finding the inside heel hook, which we thought would be a great way to attack this match. So they get on the mat, they go to the middle, they shake hands, ref comes in to be like, all right, really ready, go and stuff. And the ref comes in, no heel hooks. Boom. I didn't even hear it because he says it just to the middle of the match. So I don't even know that. So like through the match.
Like, grab that heel hook.
Well, yeah, like I'm going to coach through heel hook. I'm going to coach through that, right? But, we weren't prepared for that. And we were like, yeah, it's not in the contract. Because I know when the UFC fighters come in, they're not allowed heel hooks.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, well, it's not in the contract. Doesn't say anything like that. So we're going to be attacking these heel hooks. But, the ref said it before the match. But they get going. Lucas is out there, scrapping with them. Takes a couple shots and stuff like that. And eventually, they get into a scramble. Siebert ends up on bottom. He's actually attacking a leg. Like he can still attack leg entanglements,
right? Yeah,
and things like that. But he just can't attack the heel hook once he gets it. He could go straight ankle lock. He could go knee bar. But they just said no heel hooks.
Exactly.
At this point, I'm still unaware of it. Right?
Yeah.
And like Lucas told me, he was like, yeah, because they were close to the boundary. Like they thought they were going to go off the stage. He was like, if we reset, I was going to tell you. They said no heel hooks. But they never got to it. Eventually, Lucas ends up, in a bottom guard. Fires up a triangle, does a great job of breaking the posture down, cutting it over the shoulder, and like I knew it was on. Like I was like, all right, that's it, that's a wrap.
Also, right? Like, super cool. He avoided, which I don't know what the rules were on slams.
Oh yeah, you can slam.
Dude, he avoided that rampage, underhooking the leg beautifully. Yeah. Dude, it was so
here
sick.
Goes something funny too. I was talking to Lucas after, and he was like, "Yeah, triangle, that's my move." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Cause like I grapple with Lucas fairly often." And I'm like, I don't feel any threat from your triangle. Like, you know what I mean? I don't. I don't. But before this match, when we were warming up, I was making a point to make sure that he got the shoulder out of the triangle. So if you watch right here, we're kind of watching a replay on Lucas's Instagram here, I think. And you see both of Bird's shoulders are out.
Got it.
Right? Instead of the shoulder, the arm that's in the triangle, that shoulder being like inside the leg, right? Makes it a little harder to cut off. So we were actually working on that literally like 30 minutes before this match down in the locker room, because we did feel like, triangles would obviously be an area in which, like wrestlers commonly end up in.
Right,
I mean, I've been a jiu-jitsu player now for coming up on 20 years. I still end up in triangles all the time.
Oh, dude, dominating the position first, then sliding on that leg. Oh, that was money.
Yeah, so real good. So big win for Lucas. Gets it in under 2 minutes. Got a lot of notoriety for it.
Yeah.
This is just really cool. I turn around, the CFFC president's sitting behind me when I'm in the coach's chair. I turn around, I go, yeah, he's the real deal. You might want to get on him.
Yeah.
You might want to get on him. He's like, I want to meet with him tomorrow, right? Like at the fights,
right,
and stuff like that. So that was real cool. So some crazy things though. Lucas Byrd's jiu-jitsu coach studies. Dude, I didn't say anything in the first 30 seconds of the match. I was just sitting there listening to Lucas Byrd's coach tell Lucas Byrd everything Lucas was going to do. Like, wow. Dude, he and Lucas, we're talking about it after the match, and he goes, dude, how about his coach knowing my whole game?
Yeah.
And his coach is like, oh, watch out for the low double, watch this, and that, when you come up high, he's going to, I was like, bro, I literally stopped watching the match. I was just looking at him, and I'm like, dude, are you in our room? He knew everything. He knew everything about him, and I was like, dude. I started feeling inadequate. I was like, I don't know. I didn't watch any tape on Byrd. You know what I mean? But yeah, so his coach is for sure legit. I'm like, dang. Actually, a funny story. Lucas and I ran into Lucas Byrd's coach in the Chicago airport on our way to Nogi Worlds this December.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, we met him in there. We're all getting on the plane to go to Vegas. So you're like, oh, probably wearing MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff. It's hey, what's up? And so Lucas and Lucas Byrd's coach follow each other on Instagram. And then he's there cornering Byrd, and Lucas Siebert's like, man, he looks familiar. And then he's like, oh, dude.
We met him.
Yeah. And I was like, holy crap. Yeah. But yeah, he did a really good job scouting Lucas out. Obviously it still worked out for us, but man, I was actually kind of shocked by it was literally everything that we were gonna do. He was
and also it's interesting too because so again I'm very big on dissecting fighters on film.
Yeah,
but a lot of times those fighters won't know because I'm using codes because stand up it's obviously
right.
We talk about this a lot, but in the grappling department, like you said, he can just call it all out. So then you're like, oh wow, this dude really knows what's happening.
Yeah, dude, he really knew, and I was just like, dang, dude. I was like, man, where's this tape from?
Right.
And then he might have watched Lucas's Nogi Worlds because those are all available on Flow, so maybe some of that. But yeah, and yeah, so great weekend. You know what I mean?
Super incredible.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And then, I introduced him to Rob, CFFC's president, after the match, which was really cool. I really do appreciate, the whole Fury and CFFC staff, because I've been out of it. I've been out of there for a bit. You know, my last fight with them was 2017. Oh
wow, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, August of 2017 was my last fight in CFFC.
Wow.
So it's been 8 years since I fought there, and dude, I felt right at home. As soon as I got there, right? I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll remember me and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
they remember.
Yeah, it made me feel really good. So I really appreciated that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So CFFC, we get back out there, get back in that rhythm.
Let's make it happen, man.
Fury grappling. It would work well too because they run these Fury grappling shows the night before a CFFC show, right? Notably,
back.
Carly. Mm-hmm. Carly Jo Thomas, the male woman, she made her pro debut in CFFC this Saturday. Beautiful first round win. Marched her opponent down, landed some solid strikes, good takedown. Ended up getting reversed off it, but came up on the solid takedown, had mount. So I don't want to make it seem like her takedown got reversed. But then when she got bumped off a mount, she had her back on the cage, boom, threw on that ninja choke, like Joan Silva, and took her to the ground with it and got the first round submission. So great debut there, and what an organization to get your debut in, because CFFC, man, it's the real deal. So I could see it working out well. We get some of our fighters in CFFC once we get them to that level, because I mean that's a level.
Oh
there.
yeah,
that's a level.
There's no easy fights in CFFC.
Yeah, that's a level. And actually, it's funny you say that. Raw. Whenever I was introducing Lucas to Rob, he said that. He was like, yeah, nothing comes easy here. And he was like, ask Mike, Mm-hmm. And I was like, yep, I know. I had the hard road there. Yep. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that was cool. So yeah, good weekend for Lucas, and hopefully he has another good weekend here coming up shortly.
Yeah.
Because June 20th in Salamanca, New York, Lucas will be stepping back in the cage to make his LFA debut. So Salt Lake's not that far away. It's like a 3-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We should pack that. So everybody get your tickets underneath Lucas Siebert's name. There's a chance we could get some other of our team on that card as well. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. Lucas 4-0 right now as a pro. He'll be taking on a 4-0 fighter out of Brazil. So should be a really good one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Another UFC Fight Pass opportunity.
Very excited.
Yep, very excited. All right, cool. So where do you think we can move from there?
I think we can move into what Max has planned, which all I know is we're going to play some Jeopardy.
Guys, all I know is I'm destroyed with Poison Ivy.
Dude, yeah, you got it bad.
I got it bad.
Which I know exactly how that feels, because I was telling you just before this, like I was basically like immune to poison ivy, and a doctor explained to me that it like kind of like runs out essentially. And so I'd be like landscaping in like short shorts. And one time I was like pulling poison ivy. I had gloves on. I thought I was good, but just like being that close to it, it got all over my body. Bro. And I had the same thing, and it was like 2 weeks of hell. So I feel very bad for what you're going through at the moment. It sucks.
Yeah, well, I got it last Sunday. That's when I was pulling the ivy. Yeah. So hopefully I'm 1 full weekend. Hopefully this subsides soon. I've been doing everything for it. I'm on a steroid for it. Dude, it hurts.
That sucks so bad.
Right on. Cool. All right. So, Max, are we jumping into the game?
Yeah, we can. If you guys want to get started on that, we can jump right into that. I'm going to throw this up on the board here, and you guys can figure out who's going to go first. We got 4 categories. Each one, we got 100 to 500 points.
Okay, so this is like Jeopardy style, but we're going to modify it since we don't have buzzers.
A little bit, yeah.
Wait, we're going to get a visual?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Oh, I got a graphic for you.
Oh, boy.
Max. You want to rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first?
Oh, hold on.
Take your time.
Take
your time. Oh, Max, you're a professional.
Oh, my goodness.
Some of these are the font's like real small, so once I move the thing across, I'll zoom in and I'll read it off to you guys.
Listen, I got great eyes. I can see no problem.
Well, you know I don't. I don't, though.
Fair enough.
That's what I was saying.
Okay. We'll make it fair.
Yeah. All right, I'll rock, paper, scissors. You just one, though.
Just one and done? Yeah.
Yeah, one and done.
Ready? Oh, you got
I'll go
me.
first.
And I got all the answers, and I'll be keeping a track on a separate sheet here that you guys
will see. All right, so for those of you listening at home, we have 4 categories. Just imagine Jeopardy. Category 1, pre-UFC 100. Category 2, post-UFC 100. Category 3, The Ultimate Fighter. And Category 4, outside organizations. We're thinking Pride, Strikeforce, Elite XC, Dream, Bellator, World Series of Fighting, PFL, Ryzen. Anything like that. Ryzen, anything like that. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're
ready.
ready.
How confident are you feeling right now? Right?
I'm going to find out. With my first pick, I will go The Ultimate Fighter for 200.
I'm going to move this off up here, and I'll read it off so everyone can see it.
Okay, so you definitely get first crack at it.
Yep.
And then I get it if you... Okay.
Who did Rampage Jackson coach against on season 7 of The Ultimate Fighter? That one would be Forrest Griffin.
That's correct.
Yes.
Good job. All right, starting off well.
You would have went Rashad.
Yep.
That was
season 5, maybe?
I think 10. No, 5.
Oh, it was a later one.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm not great with The Ultimate Fighter. That's a bit of an issue.
So that's 200 points for me. And now winner
you
keep
retain.
all?
You retain.
Let me go The Ultimate Fighter for 100.
Hold up. Let me I gotta get a rhythm down here.
So I gotta stop scratching, guys. I gotta stop. Right after this one.
That's what that's for, dude. Start squeezing.
We'll get you like a shock collar for whenever you start scratching stuff. Dude. All right, so gold is gonna be Mike, purple will be Will.
All right, sick. Cool. Love it.
Which one do you want?
That's perfect.
The Ultimate Fighter for 100. This was really good.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this.
All right, let's read that off. What was the name Conor McGregor used to refer to TJ Dillashaw during season 22 of Tough, a very important season? Snake.
Give me the whole term.
You little snake.
I was going to say snake, and I thought that was the answer.
You guys would both say that?
Yeah. What is it?
I would give it to him.
All right.
What is it?
Right. If you're not going to argue.
Well, hold on. What is it? And then I'll decide if I want it or not.
The full term is snake in the grass. But
Yeah, he gets it,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I
That's,
take that.
okay, if you guys don't, have
I
an
think
issue
they
with
would give that to you on Jeopardy.
Who cares? We're giving it to you right now.
Yeah.
It's our Jeopardy.
All right, cool. All right, let me go outside organizations for 100. Daniel Cormier and Josh Barnett.
Yeah, that's correct.
Bam, bro.
We need to have some like 3 and out type rule.
We
here to
might
stop
need
it.
All right,
to.
3 and out.
He's
3
just
and
gonna
out.
farm the
Yeah.
first 200 here.
All right, 3 and out. Next one's on Will. So just for those of you listening, I got 400 points right now
Yes.
because I'm a dog.
I was real scared on that too because I was like, if you say Josh Barnett and it's not Josh Barnett, I got nothing.
The first one, the who did Rampage coach against, that was kind of like a trick one. I'm glad I got you.
Thought
with
that
one,
thought
at
that it
least.
was going to be Rashad.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
gonna
because
say
that's the
Rashad.
more popular one.
That is the more popular one, but that was season 10.
Dude, I totally forgot he even
That was because Roy Nelson was on that one.
had one with Forrest.
And then he had, because they had the heavyweights. That was when Roy Nelson was on it.
And Kimbo?
Yep, and Kimbo was on it. And then there was the one dude that Rampage kept calling titties, and he would get real mad and he would cry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
All right, Will.
I've only seen probably like 3 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter and then just various clips. So like,
Yeah, I mean, I recent Ultimate Fighters, I'm not going to know nothing.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna take pre UFC 100 for 100.
You want to read that off so everyone can hear it?
Okay, who did Royce Gracie defeat in the final match of UFC 1 to win the tournament? Ooh, this actually is tough for me. All of Royce's matches are just like gluing together now in my head. Oh man, this would be embarrassing to get wrong. Part of me wants to say the name that we said earlier about UFC.
So if he gets it wrong, I get to try to steal.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Kung Fu guy. It was, around. Oh man, you know what? I am going to go Keith Hackney.
That is incorrect.
Oh, Mike, who you got?
Dude, I don't know.
I have another guess, but I don't want to say it in case
Gerard Gordeau.
That's correct.
it's... Dude, no way! Oh. You know what that means?
I'll take post UFC 100 for 100, please.
Oh man, I'm about to get washed.
But the big money ones.
I know, but I need an obscure one that I actually know.
Who did Aldo fight for the interim featherweight title in McGregor's absence?
Oh,
Wow. Chad Mendez.
That is incorrect.
Damn.
Oh, that was gonna be my guess too. All right, so let's say, was it?
Oh
Is it Faber?
no, Anthony Pettis.
Those are both incorrect.
Oh dang.
Who is it?
So if we go back and forth twice right there, you guys both get it wrong, right?
Well, then he would probably retain because
Yeah, I'd retain
Yeah.
then.
Okay, well, you guys both got it wrong there, so what do you want?
yeah, he should retain because
I'll retain, so we just leave that wrong.
Yeah, we just keep it
And we
going.
Okay, so
No one
I'll
got
go
that.
post UFC 100 for 200.
wait, hold on, who was it?
It was Frankie Edgar.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know they fought for an interim title.
At
after
UFC
that.
200.
Damn. All right. Post UFC. Wow, it's my favorite fighter.
Frankie?
Yeah. Post UFC 100 for 200.
Awful lot of yellow up there.
Can you read that?
What is the only UFC event to have 3 champions fight and lose their titles in the same night? Dude, these are super
dude.
hard.
I have no idea. So lost the title 3 times. UFC 231.
No, that's incorrect.
Okay, that was just, full guess.
UFC 200.
No.
I don't even know who's on it.
You could give like the actual names, like the headliners type thing if you know it, but
I don't know.
I don't know it. What is it?
okay. That's UFC 217. That's GSP and Bisping, TJ and Cody, Rose and Joanna.
I was
I
about
was
that.
not gonna get that.
All right, let's go pre-UFC 100 for 200.
Who was the last person to face Royce Gracie in the UFC?
Ken Shamrock.
Incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Go ahead.
Matt Hughes.
That is correct.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, I knew that. Yeah, UFC 63.
Let me check exactly which one that was.
No, it must have been after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, well.
Okay, I'm gonna go
UFC 60.
outside organizations for 200.
Oh, man.
During the Strikeforce era, who became the first and only person to knock out Tyron Woodley in MMA?
Oh, I know it. I know it.
I think I know it. It
Go
is
ahead.
Nate Marquardt.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Damn.
Got it.
I'm getting some purple on the board there. That's good.
Yeah, and in the 200 spots. So, look, one of those purples is worth 2 of those yellows.
Yeah. We gotta keep this going. All right, I get one more.
I'm only up by 100 right now.
Oh, sick.
It's 500 to 400. Go ahead.
All right, let's go pre-UFC 100 for 300. Who was the first person to beat Demetrius Johnson in the UFC? Oh. Is it...
In the UFC.
Oh, what I'm thinking of might be a draw. Oh, man. Is it... Fuck. I'm going to go with Cruz.
That's correct.
That would have been Dominic
okay.
Cruz.
It was either that, it was...
Well, you took the lead.
Because I was thinking also Uncle Creepy, but that was a draw, right?
That was a draw.
Okay.
They were supposed to go to a 4th round,
That's right. Okay.
but they did the scorecards wrong, so
I
they
know
didn't.
I know we've discussed it on the pod like 20 times, and I always forget what happened.
Will is in the lead with 700 now.
Oof. Okay. Was that 3 for me or no?
That was 3.
That was
Not
3?
in a row, right?
Pretty sure it was.
Okay. All right.
sure
Well, then
he stole
I
the-
will go tough for 300.
Who won season 4 of The Ultimate Fighter and would go on to win his division's belt in his next fight?
Matt Serra.
Yeah, that's correct. Good
Oh,
job.
that's
Good
one of the
job.
few ones I would have gotten.
Give me outside organizations for 300.
During the UFC/WEC merger, which 2 WEC champions became champions upon entry into the UFC?
Dominic Cruz and Jose Aldo.
That's correct. Good job.
I'll take outside organizations for 400.
Who was the first ever Pride FC heavyweight champion? Ooh.
Dude. I don't know. Fuck. Dude, no way. The first ever. Is this one that you would think I would know?
No, don't help him.
No comment.
All right, well, first ever. I mean, what are the odds of that? Let's go with... Do you think you know it?
Not really.
All right, let me go with Hickson Gracie.
That is
I
incorrect.
could have told you it wasn't Hickson.
Well, I was just trying to think of like...
I don't think he ever
earlier-
fought in Pride.
Yeah, there's no way he didn't. Yeah, he definitely fought in Pride.
Was Hickson in Pride?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that doesn't interfere with any of their questions. He was
Okay.
right.
I'm gonna go Fedor.
No way.
That's also incorrect.
Yeah, thank
Who
God.
was it?
Do you get a throwback or no? You don't know.
No.
No, but I would say Nogueira.
Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira.
No
Okay.
way. It was Big Nog.
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
I just felt like they came in later.
That's what I thought.
So does that count for you? Because it
No.
technically would have got. All right, that's fine.
All right. I retain.
But you get one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or unless you want to call that my 3 and out, but I didn't get it right.
Is that how that works? Isn't it just 3? Period. Or-
No.
I mean, but neither of you guys got it right, so we
Oh,
should
okay.
pass it off.
Oh, but also, I don't know. We could
Go
also
ahead.
be doing
yeah,
it.
go ahead. Go ahead. You call it.
All right, we'll just do 3 in a row then. I'll take post UFC 100.
So even if you get it wrong, you pick another one?
which is
in a row?
3 in a row, I guess, and then we'll just be done.
So we just have to count.
Yeah.
So even if you get this wrong and I get it right, you still get to pick the next one.
If you get it right, then you steal it, right?
Okay.
I was saying pass that one off because you had 2, and
All
then
right.
you got that third one wrong.
Right.
So it was
okay.
like-
Sounds fair. Go ahead.
All right, post UFC 100 for 300. What was the original UFC 200 main event supposed to be? Oh, Jesus. What was UFC 200? Was that Brock and was that Brock and Mir? Or is that 100? Oh man. All right, dude. Let's go shot in the dark. Let's go Khabib Ferguson.
No, that's incorrect.
I just had to go with the fight that was canceled a bunch.
Brock Cormier.
No, that's also incorrect.
Who is it?
The original UFC 200 main event was supposed to be Conor and Diaz 2.
Oh,
Okay.
So that was meant to be kind of a trick that it didn't even, like, the trick didn't even get to that point, because there was also supposed to be Jones and Cormier too, but that was like the second scheduled main event.
okay.
Oh man.
All right, go ahead, Will.
Okay. Let's go pre UFC 100 for 400. What was the very first UFC event held outside of North America in 1997? Are you looking for number or what it was called? I believe it was called.
Just what it was called is fine.
Wasn't it UFC Japan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Good job. Good job.
It was either that or Brazil. And, yeah.
I was gonna say Ultimate Brazil.
That dude, I was right on the. It's been working out for me. Let's go pre UFC 100 for 500.
Damn, yeah, you do got a lot of previous.
This is my last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At UFC 83 in 2008, Michael Bisping would. Dude, this is small even for me. Make his UFC debut. Which of his future opponents would win the championship main event that same night?
If you need me to reread it or read it.
No.
Could you just make it bigger so I can read it?
Okay. I don't think you're gonna. I'm pretty sure it's Anderson Silva. Correct.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
No.
So at UFC 83. Okay. Rashad Evans.
That is also incorrect.
Fuck. Who is it?
Throw it back one more time. Try again.
Oh. No. Can't be
Luke Rockhold.
No, that's too early. Too early for Rockhold. Dude, who else did he fight
That became a champion?
Right.
I don't know.
Let's go. I mean, middleweight champs. Who was around at the time?
Well, it could be a light heavyweight champ because Michael Bisping was fighting light heavyweight.
Oh, that's right. I don't know. Did he fight?
That's why I said Rashad Evans.
Did he fight Forrest? Was it Forrest?
I don't even know if he fought Forrest, but
I don't
no.
think so.
The correct answer is GSP.
Oh,
man!
Wow,
Matt
we were going
Serra,
the
too.
wrong way.
Oh,
Okay,
dude.
All right, let me go.
That was the reaction I wanted for that one. I was just struggling for the division.
Let me
You
go.
got us.
The Ultimate Fighter for 400.
Max, you really nailed this.
Yeah, this is really good.
Okay, it says who KO'd TJ Dillashaw in the Tough 14 finale?
Diego Brandao.
No, that is incorrect.
Damn.
Marlon Moraes?
No, that's also incorrect.
Who is it?
John Dodson.
You know what? I could see his face.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot
All
about
right.
him. That dude had
Tough for
crazy
500.
power. I can't read.
During Tough Season 12, which prominent UFC featherweight is John Charles Skarbowski seen dropping with a knee to the liver in the cage?
Oh man.
Will, you look like you had it.
I think I do.
It's one of these two people. And I think this one's more prominent. Oh, is he a lightweight though? All right, Team GSP.
Watch me be wrong.
Prominent featherweight.
I could be off on weight class. I could be off on season.
All right, I got to go. I mean,
I just think I know.
okay, so here goes the thing. Like, everybody I'm thinking of, so I have 3 people in the front of my head, and everybody I'm thinking of, like, either went 55 or 35 as well. They weren't just a featherweight. This season was at 155.
Now I'm less confident about my answer.
Jonathan Brookings.
No, that's incorrect.
Is it Alex Caceres?
It is. Alex
That was
Caceres.
yes! But he's a 35er in the UFC.
No, he's a 45er.
Is he?
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy?
See, that's
Yeah,
where I got
yeah.
scared because I was like, "Am I even the same?"
That's why it was between those. It was, and Michael Johnson was my other one, but he's a 55er.
See, luckily I got it right because I just had it like in my head.
And I just felt like
must have
Jonathan
seen-
Brookings fought at 45 more.
But I was like, if you told me he wasn't on the Ultimate Fighter like at all, I'd have been like, "Oh yeah, I guess." Like, dude,
Yeah.
I was not confident in that. Whew, I needed that one.
All right, there's only 3 questions left.
All right, so I steal control then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Zoom out. What do we got left? Oh, is this all we have left?
Yeah, so
Okay.
post 100, 400, and 500, and then outside orgs.
Dude, let's go outside.
Hold on, let's calculate the score real quick. So right now, Will, you have 900 plus. You have 1400,
Okay.
and I have 300, 500 plus 11. So you're up by 300.
Okay. Let's go post UFC 100 or 400.
You already have. Oh no, post. My bad.
Yeah, I can't read that.
I got you.
All right. It says, which one of these fights was not ever scheduled to occur before falling apart? Khabib versus Donald Cerrone, Woodley versus Leon Edwards, GSP versus Robert Whittaker. So just so I understand, this means
So
that
2 of these fights were scheduled and didn't happen. One of them was just never scheduled.
Okay.
got it. Okay.
So none of these fights actually happened, but 2 of them were scheduled. that
Gotcha.
Didn't happen.
Oh, dude, I think this is it's a bummer too because it's a multiple choice. So if I get it wrong, now Mike's at the very least at 50-50.
He's within shooting range too.
Okay. Man, this is difficult. Okay. Woodley Leon makes sense to me. Like I could see the kind of similar eras. GSP Whittaker is the one I'm really questioning. Because Whittaker was a 70 though. And while Khabib Cowboy sounds feasible, I could see that also just being tossed in there because of that. Ah, man. Yeah, Whittaker was a 70, right? So that makes sense. Dude, you know what? All right, let's go Khabib Cowboy.
That is incorrect.
Oh, no.
All right, I'm going to go GSP Whittaker.
That is correct.
Oh, man. See, that's the one that...
So that would have been after GSP beat Bisbing, but he retired.
Oh, see, Whittaker was a 170 at one point, right?
He was a 170, but he was at 85 at that point in time.
See,
And I believe he the next champ after GSP.
It was one of those
Yeah.
things where there was a lot of talk about like, is GSP going to defend against
yeah.
Rob?
And see,
but
that's
it
why I
never
thought it
actually
was a
got
trick.
scheduled.
Because I was like, oh, maybe way back in the day, GSP Whittaker was scheduled like before either of them were big names, and it fell
right.
apart. Oh,
Here,
man.
make it big again. All right, so hold on.
You
We're
only
on the
got 2
last
left.
2 questions, and they're both 500-point questions.
Mike, that gave you 400.
Okay.
Correct.
So I have 300, 500, 1100. I have 1500, and Will has 1400.
Correct.
So these 2 questions, if we split them, I win.
Mm-hmm.
If Will gets one right, then yeah. So
Yeah.
Okay. Give me outside orgs for 5.
Before being renamed the PFL, who won the WSOF lightweight title and defended it 5 times before making his way to the UFC?
for the win.
so
Justin
easy.
Gaethje.
Oh,
Hey, guess what? We have a common opponent. He beat Rich Petitschnuk for the lightweight title.
that's why
I fought, and that last CFFC fight that we were speaking of, I
Yep.
fought Rich Petitschnuk.
and that's why I knew that so well because of that.
Well, all right, let's
man.
go post UFC 100 for 500. I can either blow this out or you could
Make it
make
close.
it close, but you can't win.
I want to. This is the last one. I think this is one of the hardest ones on here. I'm going to preface this because Will is technically already out of winning capability. You'll understand. So I'm gonna pull this apart here. If you can, let me read this off. So, at UFC Fight Island, Marlon Moraes versus Corey Sandhagen, 3 future champions fought back to back to back on the main card. In the question, it says name at least 2 of them. But if Mike, you can only name 2, and Will, you can name 3,
And then it's a tie.
I'll give you an extra 200 or whatever it is to get you to tie with Mike.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Make it bigger.
This is difficult.
3 fought back to back to back.
Mike, I'm going to need you to get at least
They
2
were
of these for me.
so they were not champions at this point in time since they were being named future.
They were not. In fact, 2 of them were making their debut.
Oh,
They were not
my
champions.
Gosh.
Mike, I'm going to need you to get 2 of these for me.
All right, so one of them's going to be Israel Adesanya.
You have to give me at least 2 before I tell you if you're right or wrong.
Okay. Future champs.
Dude, I can help you with this because I need you to do well. It can't be Izzy, right? Because Sandhagen couldn't have been headlining when Izzy was debuting.
That's not a headline fight.
Versus-
Wait, are you saying Moraes and Sandhagen was the headline?
Moraes Sandhagen is that's the card headliner.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
This is
Yeah,
UFC
it can't be
Moraes and
Izzy.
Sandhagen.
So Sandhagen had to already have been popular. So this has got to be like,
Okay. All right. I mean, it's Fight Island, so it's during COVID.
okay, now we're narrowing it to a time period.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Sean O'Malley.
No, dude. Oh, I mean, yeah,
I'm trying to think of the time frame. Okay, never mind.
Are those your 2 answers?
No,
You might actually be right about that.
DDP, Sean O'Malley, and Izzy.
You got one of those correct.
Okay,
I
Will,
think
your
it's
turn.
DDP. Is it DDP, Taporia, and Pereira?
no Pereira.
No, Pereira.
All right, last shot here. You got 2 correct. Mike, can you get the 3rd one?
So it's
Oh, but you don't know
DDP
which one.
Taporia. DDP Taporia.
If you can't get the 3rd one here and you're trying to, he technically wins because he got 2 and you got
I mean,
1.
you'll still win the game, but
Yeah. DDP Taporia. Fuck, dude. How long's he been in there? Hold on. Marab.
That is incorrect.
oh, okay. Hold on.
If you get the 3rd one, I'll throw in an extra 100.
Because think about it, it's like current champion, so it's got to be a recent champ. So
I got it. Damn.
is it Shevchenko?
JDM.
Those are both incorrect.
No way. All right, we quit.
It is Ilya Topora, Dricus Duplessis, and Tom Aspinall.
Oh, he's not a champ.
He's an interim champ.
Oh, dude. False pretenses.
Yeah.
False pretenses. He's not
Well,
a
you
champ.
got 2 of them correct, though, so you technically win that one.
So I was only, would I lose by 100, 200, something like that?
100.
So we at least
Something
kept
like
it close.
It would
Yeah,
have
that
been
was good.
2,000 to 1,900.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, make the screen big again.
Dude, that was sick.
So we weren't able to answer 5, 6, 7. So 7 of the 20. So we only got 13 of the 20 right, which is a 65%.
Dude, you know what? I was pretty happy with this because we'd been talking about like doing a like a trivia thing
You
before.
want to know what's hilarious though? Like I knew I knew post UFC 100 would be our worst.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Because that's where we were less of fans and more like in it.
But not only that, but like it's not as solidified. So like when I first saw like Anderson Silva, and I'm a young kid who like hasn't seen a lot of fights. It's like I grew
Yeah.
up with that. Whereas like 100 on, it's just like there were fights. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, Max, what made you think to do this? This is sick.
It was a great idea.
It seemed like a good way to kill some time, and it was a lot of, these kind of questions. It's always keeps you engaged. It
Yeah.
just gives you a challenge,
Yeah.
something competitive.
Dude, you nailed
You guys
it.
did well.
This is sick. We should do this every time there's not a UFC.
Yeah. Dude, I liked it. I had fun.
Yeah.
All right. Will, what do you want to talk about now? Do you want to talk about
okay.
DDP Chimaev?
Speaking of DDP,
Yeah, so that was something that we were kind of talking about last week, is like some big fights coming up, and we didn't get to DDP Chimaev, and that's the one that like I'm most excited for, because it's like the one that's in my mind. I don't like I couldn't tell you who I think is going to win. So like, if we look at the big fights coming up, right, Topuria, Charles, I'm leaning towards I think Topuria is going to win, right? Like I don't want to say strongly, but like if someone was like, yo, gun to your head, say a name, I'm like, oh, boom,
I'm
got
saying
you.
Topuria, yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with Islam and JDM, right? Like that one, anything could happen, but I'm pretty sure Islam's going to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are the big ones? I'm missing one of the.
I mean, this summer you got Max and Poirier 3.
Max Poirier
That's probably
3.
the one that you're thinking about.
We got Yair
I'm
and
pretty
Volk.
sure Max.
Yeah, your Volk is rumored.
Volk, I'm pretty sure Volk. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure I know who's going to
Yeah.
win. DDP Chimaev.
Whoa, hold on. You got Max over Poirier.
I think so, yeah.
Why? Just third time's a charm?
I think the fact that Poirier, and I kind of hope I'm wrong about this, but the fact that he's like thinking about retirement, but also it's Dustin Poirier. It's not like he's like on his way out and he's like, fuck it, I got one more.
Bro, I don't think he's going to retire.
Really?
I think if he beats Max, I think he's going to be like lightweight title now that Islam's out.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think he's going to be like, dude, I can be the undisputed champ, right? Because, I mean, like, if he beats Max, that's a good argument for him to be the next title challenger.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You know what I mean? And in the winner of either of those winners would make sense.
Especially how he wins, you know what I mean? Like, if
the
he's
only
just
thing that could really like trip him up is if Ilya's like, I'm chasing Islam.
Right,
up,
right.
Which hopefully they would make him defend one more before chasing Islam up. But like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah.
Well, regardless, okay, let me put it. It's not even just that I don't know who's going to win that. I don't even know what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? If you said like, hey, give me an idea of what X, Y, and Z of those fights would look like, I can be like, okay, Max and Dustin, they're going to box. You know what I mean? Max is going to mix in probably a few more kicks than Dustin, I imagine. Don't think we're going to see a whole lot on the ground unless one of them like kind of like stumbles or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to look a lot like other fights
Yes,
have.
exactly.
And that's why I think Dustin's going to win.
Yeah, I'm going back on that in my head now. That one's a lot more like 50-50.
Do you
than I
think? Never mind. I was going to say, how much do you think that heel kick played into Max beating Justin?
I think a good bit.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
Like, I think a good bit.
Yeah. But regardless, like I have no idea what DDP Chimaev looks like. Like you could make an argument. You could be like, oh, dude, for X, Y, and Z reason, Chimaev's going to like get that low double. He's going to finish it, yada, yada. Or you could be like, oh, dude, no, DDP's just a fucking gorilla. And
I kind of lean DDP.
Dude, I'm like low key leaning that way myself.
Like just
you
like
could,
durable, and then I mean 4th, 5th round.
and also think about it. It's mental durability too. So like if you're fighting Chimaev and in the first 3 seconds he takes you down and is like kind of mauling you for a full round, a lot of people they're like, oh dude, like I'm done. You know what I mean? DDP, I can't imagine ever feeling that way.
Yeah.
Like I think he's just kind of always like, no, I got it. You know what I mean? So I could lean that way, but also like you could be like, oh no, like if you look at DDP's grappling for X, Y, and Z reason, you know what I mean? Like this is why Chimaev is like gonna smash him. Like I could be slightly convinced the other way too. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's gonna happen. This is the perfect like rock in a hard place, unstoppable force, immovable object type deal. Do you have any sort of predictions? Do you think Chimaev's gonna be able to take him down?
I do.
Do you think he's gonna be able to hold him down?
Will be able to take him down. I think he'll be able to hold him down for times. I just like it's gonna come to a cardio thing because we saw like Chimaev and Burns, Chimaev and Usman, right? Like, what's a 4th and 5th round look like?
Yeah,
and like DDP's bigger,
and
and
DDP's cardio is surprisingly good. He's like weird because he looks like tired, but he's like not. I don't know. Yeah, I think you could make an argument for Chimaev getting control early, but not being able to finish DDP, and DDP winning, you know, just by having cardio. But you could also, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways.
There's a lot, and I think a lot of it is too is like we don't get to see Chimaev frequently.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So you
It's,
don't
like,
know
so
what
rare.
improvements he's made. Also, is he going to come in healthy? Like, there's so many issues with him and so many questions.
Yeah.
It's just like I have no clue. So I'm very excited to see
Yeah.
that. Also, it's one of those. Stylistically, I kind of like that too, because like DDP is very, very unconventional, and I'm done doubting him and saying that he doesn't have the right skill set, because clearly he does. But like clearly a big part of his game is just being a physical monster.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
anytime you have one of those guys, you're just like anything could happen. And then Chimaev, he's been so dominant in like his wins, or in some of his wins, and then some of them it's just like absolute bangers, and he's shown
Yeah.
durability. And I don't know, Max, do you have any thoughts on like how you think that fight's gonna go, who you think's gonna win?
I think that that fight is like a pick'em to me. Like if I had to like I don't know what the odds are.
That's what makes it fun.
Early on. It's like a super interesting fight because there's 100% no way it goes the distance, right? But in
No,
my
I
head,
think
It totally
goes the
could.
distance.
I don't think it could possibly go.
They're
the
both
distance, dude.
super tough.
You don't think?
They are, but guys like Khamzat who burn heavy early on, they tend to like they
But
don't.
he's
How
gone
many
the
times
distance.
he's gone 3 rounds at welterweight? He hasn't gone 5 rounds with someone like DDP.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's why I'm thinking he'll lose later rounds. But
Right, but I'm not sure he's gonna get finished.
I could see
was
Khamzat
his
getting
Usman fight a
finished.
decision?
Yeah.
So that's 3 rounds at middleweight.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's 3 rounds. It's not 5 rounds with DDP. 5
Yeah.
rounds with DDP
Yeah.
is different. Like I think there's the only person who's done that is Sean, and he's like very defensively minded, very defensively oriented, right? If you're a burn hard, heavy, early type guy,
Yeah.
I don't think that you're gonna last past the 4th round with DDP. And like Khamzat could beat him too, but that's what makes it so interesting. Is like I could easily see DDP like getting Khamzat up against the cage and TKOing him.
So would you say, like, if you were like an odds maker, like let's say you were running your own
I've
book.
thought about this.
You're running your own book,
Yeah.
right? Would you put Chimaev by finish at better odds than Chimaev by decision then?
Yes. Yeah.
Damn.
Interesting.
Better odds meaning like a heavier favorite.
Yeah.
On him being
Yeah. That's
yeah.
a great
Right.
question.
Right? Like you
You know
could
what, I
put
think I
Chimaev
think-
by decision at like plus 200, but
Right.
Chimaev by or minus 200.
Right.
But Chimaev by
Stoppage.
stoppage at like
I
minus
think
250.
where the best plus money would be is the fight going the distance and Chimaev by decision.
Yeah.
I think those are like the 2 places that you're going to see the most plus money being made here.
That's interesting.
I don't know what the odds are, but I think if I was making the odds on the fight itself, I'd have like minus 105 DDP, minus 115 Khamzat. Like it's
Yeah.
tight, you know what I mean? I think that the most money, like everything around this fight based on anything in like submission or TKO inside the first 3 rounds, it's going to be like minus 6,000. There's not going to be any value on that
Now,
stuff.
do
All the
you-
value is going to come from later on.
So you're leaning slightly Chimaev, it sounds like.
Slightly, yeah.
See, I'm leaning slightly DDP.
But I'm also biased because I just do think that Khamzat would be like, it's like if Khamzat could get past DDP, there's kind of that relief where I'm like, all right, I think he can beat most of the other guys
Everyone
in the
else.
division.
Yeah. I think DDP does present a large problem with him just because he's so
He's the
physically
anomaly.
imposing.
He's,
yeah.
he's the division's anomaly.
And he's just like so weird. you
Yeah.
know? And again, like I didn't realize it until I think like I've heard more of him talking, but like I think his mental strength is like, and I hate to say that because it's so like simplified and it doesn't really like make sense, but I think his mental strength is really what like got him to where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ability to be like, I don't care what's coming at me, I'm gonna go forward right
Yeah.
now. Like I'm just gonna go forward and I'm gonna see what happens, you know. And like most people can't, even like championship level fight. Like Leon Edwards is a good example. He's really technically good, but he isn't someone I'd look at and I'd be like, yeah, they have that ability to just be like, I'm down on the cards, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go forward right now.
And also, we don't usually see like that approach getting championships, right? Like,
Yeah.
you see it get people kind of far, but usually doesn't get championships. So, like, if you think of like who's someone like Mike Perry, like who just walks forward, he's about that action. Like, was anyone like, oh, Mike Perry's definitely going to be a champion? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, clearly not. But
Yeah. And not just like
DDP
falling into a championship setting either. Like getting past Whitaker and getting
Yeah.
past Adesanya, that
Oh,
stuff
legit
doesn't
wins.
get you past them usually.
And like, and the weirdness of his fight. So like, do you remember when he fought Izzy and he fell into like a low single
Dude.
and like finished it and finished the fight? Like, It's like that only happens to DDP. And I swear it's belief. I swear he's like, I'm falling. I'm going to take him down now. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like it's like DDP's like a buckshot versus sniper, like a 50 cal, and it's just direct forward, powerful movement versus like everything is coming at you from all angles, and it's just going to be weird and ugly. But if you can't survive it, you're going to lose.
Is this the fight you're most excited for coming up? Like that's been announced?
Will, you won.
What?
You won.
You're recalculating the Jeopardy game?
Yeah, because right there, so you got 400 plus 300, that's 700, plus 400 is 1100, plus 1,000 is 2,100. I have, right? You have 2,100, right?
For you?
No, for Will.
Hang on.
No.
How much do you have?
19, right?
That's what I have for him.
Yeah, it's 5.
I have 2,100.
He should have 2,100 on here.
You have 2,100, Will. Okay, so 200 plus 200 is 400, plus 300 is 700, plus 400 is 1,100, plus 1,000.
Oh.
That's 2,100.
Wait, and then what do you have? 5, 900.
Hold on. What was that tough 500 question? Did Will get that one?
Yeah, that was Alex Caceres.
Oh, okay.
He did get that.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, and then you got 3, that's 5.
I got
11,
300,
15,
500, 1,100,
2,000.
2,000. So you won 2,100 to 2,000.
Oh, hey, what do you know? Right
Retroactively, Will you win?
But in all fairness, you didn't really get You didn't get that. It was like the fourth guess.
No. My first guess, I got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I got Ilya and DDP. And who else did I say? I said no.
You
I said
your first time. You said what? DDP, Ilya, and
I said someone else who was wrong, but I did get the 2.
Okay.
You said Pereira.
That's right. I said Pereira.
Yeah. You said Pereira on your first one, yeah.
Because I knew he was fast tracked and he was a champ like around that time period. So, yeah. Hey, what do you know? It was close though.
It was close.
Mike, you get points for honesty though.
Yeah, look at that.
100 points for honesty. We're all tied.
Everybody wins. All right, cool. You said you had some questions?
Yeah, dude. I got
I
dumb
have some questions. I have a question for you.
Ooh, hit me.
All right. So I was driving over here. I can't stop scratching my poison ivy. Holy crap.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal. Do you do like when you're in the shower, you turn it real hot and you put it on and it's like, ugh.
Oh, yeah, David, you recognize. Okay, so, all right. I was listening to Nickels and Dimes podcast on the way over here. It's Bo Nickels' podcast. He had Mitchell Messenbrink on, Penn State wrestler.
He's the 65er that
yeah.
he showed? Okay.
Yeah, he's wrestling David Carr in Final X to make his first senior world team coming up on June 14th, and which he's the favorite because he attacked David Carr at the U.S. Open. So, but whatever. I'm just kind of listening to that podcast on the way over, and they're talking about the difference between like the wrestling, like crowd and like the MMA crowd, and like then like the difference between like world class wrestling and world class MMA, and they came up with some interesting points, and it's significantly easier to get to compete in a world class level in MMA than it is in wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that interesting.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. It's kind of like when you compare like older, really any older like martial art to MMA. So if you look at like boxing versus MMA, like the older ones are so much more established.
Yeah.
And also I think with wrestling specifically, I mean it's changing over time, but I think with wrestling, you just have it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and even places where they maybe don't do like freestyle, they have their own form of wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So yeah, that makes total sense to me.
So something that I found interesting about it is like if you think about like some champions, like first off, we're talking a world class level. So what are you considering a world class level? To me, it'd be
you're competing at Worlds.
Well, yeah, at Worlds, right, for wrestling, and then is all of the UFC world class level, or is it like
I would say like
top 15 is world class?
I'm not even sure top 15. I might narrow that to top 10, top 5.
So that's world class is just 10 people.
Top 10. Well, I mean, it's the people who've turned through there. So if you've touched top 10, I would say you're probably world class. You know what I mean?
would say top. I would.
Sure. I mean, we're splitting hairs. That makes sense.
Because I mean, if you're competing at Worlds, you could be top 40 in the world. There's like 40 people in that bracket.
That's fair. I feel like it's, and I'm also thinking about like specific instances, right? Like I'm thinking about like, imagine some dude who like sniffed top 15, like barely was 15 or 14 at heavyweight.
You wouldn't say he fought at a world class level?
At heavyweight, like 10 years ago, I'm like, man, do I really want to count that as world class compared to
would.
like a wrestler? Who
Oh
made
yeah,
it to...
100%.
All right, cool.
Yeah, no doubt. You fought against.
I see the argument. I'm not going to die on this hill.
Right.
I'm with
You know what I
on that.
mean? Okay, so with that being said, though, like, just to make this even easier, let's use champs. Like, who got to a UFC title in the least amount of fights?
In the least amount of fights, it's got
Off
to be
the top of my head, Cody Garbrandt. Right?
Yeah, he was 10-0, right?
10-0
You mean least amount of fights total or UFC fights?
total.
Okay, so I would say him, probably Pereira, right?
Yeah, what was Pereira?
He must have been like...
It was single digits, but I'm gonna pull that up right now. Like you have people like Mark Coleman back in the day where they
Yeah,
were
let's go modern era because like
Yeah,
tournament, you can just enter the
yeah.
tournament and you win that night.
Vitor probably had like 0 sanctioned fights.
Yeah, so we're going modern era.
Yeah, Cody was a great call on that.
All right, and Cody had amateur fights.
Yeah.
So let's say he had 5 amateur fights. I believe he might have had 7.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then, dude, 17 fights. Now, your first title fight is not your first world class fight, right? It's like when you're getting up there, right? So I would say
Wait,
like
hold on, back that up. You're saying the first time you fight in a title fight, you don't consider that world class?
I would assume that you had a world class fight before then
Oh, I see what you're saying.
to
Got you.
earn the title
Got
fight.
you. Sorry, I thought you meant like you didn't earn world class until you became a champion. I was like, holy
No,
shit.
no. So like he fought Thomas Almeida.
Right, yeah,
That was
yeah,
a notable one. So I could see that being like when you're like, okay, now he's world class.
Right.
So like, dude, we're talking 15 fights to being competing at the world class level.
when Poatan fought Adesanya, he was 6-1, or he became 6-1.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah.
like competing at a world class level, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And especially,
whereas you look at like wrestling, like
oh yeah, what's the least amount of matches you can have?
so like let's go to UFC champion. So we saw a UFC champion, modern era again, Poatan win it with 7 fights.
Yeah.
Right? There's never been a world wrestling a wrestling champion who probably had less than 500
Dude,
matches.
let's open that up even more. How many kickboxing fights did Poatan have?
Let's
say it's 70. I don't think it is, but let's say I think it's 20 some.
all right. So now he's at 77. But then
No. I think it's 20 some, which means that
Oh.
when he got there, he was at like 23 or 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that sound right to you, Max?
I thought it was more than that. Yeah, he has 40.
40. Okay,
Professional.
cool.
Professional.
So he had
that's
less than
fights.
50 fights
Yeah.
fighting at world class level in MMA.
Yeah.
And he fought Strong Strickland, which would be world class level.
Yeah.
Before the Izzy fight. So we're talking, dude, like there's never been a world champion in wrestling who's had less than 500 matches before winning their world championship.
Let
Like,
me ask
know
you
what I mean?
this. What's the most amount of fights that an MMA fighter has had before they became world class?
Before they became world class.
Yeah. Like, what
That's a
could
good
it be?
point. I mean,
Like, think like...
you got to think of some of these, like, okay.
Anthony Smith.
Okay, yeah, he's up in the 50s, and he was probably like, before he fought world class competition, he was probably in the 40s.
And that's probably about as high as you can go.
Yeah, before like you're just never going to get there.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
part of it's due to the nature of fighting, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like taking head damage versus wrestling.
Right, yeah.
But it is interesting to look at it like that. And just and actually it's interesting too, just due to the nature of the sport, you can get all of that repetition, and that's why you see such high skill levels.
I mean, like look at baseball players, basketball players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many basketball games did LeBron James play before he was in the NBA? Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, 1,000.
And also, even if you think about like rec games that he's played, like just like on the
Yeah.
street with his buddies, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you literally can't have that many like street fights or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like impossible. That's it. That is
Yeah, it was just
interesting.
something that popped up, on the drive here.
And dude, think about it like this too. Okay, let's expand it even more. How many fights does like, I don't know, what's a Thai fighter with 1 million fights? Like Sanchai, Rodtang.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, what's a high amount of fights for a Thai fighter? Like 400.
Yeah.
Right? Still not even close.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
Yeah.
so. Yeah, that's
And they fight every almost every weekend too, but they're
It's such a
fighting
condensed time period.
yeah, and they're like I mean, like a wrestler will get like 10 matches in a weekend.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like if you're fighting every weekend, that's 10 weekends.
Yeah,
you know?
I'd be willing to bet like Thai fighters, even on the extreme end of it, where like you'll hear about guys like going to like the night I fought in Thailand. I was with this Iranian kid who was training there, and he fought on like this first card we went to, which was like a Muay Baran card. That's what I was like hoping to get on because they had the wraps. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna start somewhere real quick, but. He fought on that one and was gonna fight on the card that we drove to that I fought on, but he got beat up a little too bad, so he had to go home. But like, even if you did that and then maybe fought the next day, I can't imagine getting more than 3 fights in a weekend, and that's extreme, you know. That's interesting.
Interesting. All right, so what did you have?
All right, I got some questions for you. These are both just semantics, but I find them funny. So, the first one. Why do fighters and people in the fight game always say, like, let's say you're talking about bantamweight. Why is it always 135s and not 135? There's always an S on it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, like, where did that come from?
Like, if you ask someone what they fight, they'll say 135. But if you're talking about 35ers, you say 35s.
Even if you're talking about, like, an individual, you're like, yo, he made 135s. like we did that all the time.
I don't know if I do that.
What made me think of it is I think I was listening to our pod and we said that and I was like, that's funny. Why do we do that? And I've heard like other people say it too.
That brings up the good old debate. Like I don't even know if this is a debate you guys are aware of. Maybe it's just so wrestling heavy, but is it state or states?
Ooh.
Like you win a state championship, right? Like
I would say
it's
you
like,
won
I
states.
won state, or did I win states?
I would say states.
So in PA we say states. Like
Yeah.
states is like the common, but like other states such as like Iowa, be like, oh, it's state. Be like, what? It's just one. It's state, right? My justification is it's the possessive states, the states championship.
Okay.
Right?
Because in my head I was like, okay, like the pride.
I do think states is more correct because like no one ever says, oh, I won national, I won
Right.
world,
Yeah.
I won Olympic,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah, okay. I'm
There's
glad
only
you
one
said that.
Olympic,
Because
you
in
know?
my head, I was like, okay, Pride Grand Prix. You wouldn't say I won the Grand Prix. You know what I mean? You'd be like,
Yeah.
I won the Grand Prix. And so I was like, oh shit, why do we say that? But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, I got one where this is totally non-combat sports related, but it's hilarious.
Go ahead.
All right. Why is it that conspiracy theorists don't know how to say Antarctica and they always call it Antarctica?
First off, which one's correct?
Antarctica.
I
'Cause it's
call it Antarctica. Antarctica.
Tick, you know?
Is that because you're a conspiracy theorist, or is that just because you're?
That's
sir.
I honest to God, that's what I thought it was.
Well,
until
there's
you just
see,
made
it's
that.
a Venn diagram, right? So you have people who say Antarctica.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Why, Max? What's the place in Oakland that you can see the dinosaur bones? What's that called? What's it called?
Museum.
Oh, the museum.
Yeah.
Why do we call it a museum and you call it a museum?
Dude, I don't know, and I didn't notice that I said that until like 2 months ago.
Say it. How do you say it?
And I've been actively trying not to say it, but I would say museum.
Museum. Museum.
Why would you do that?
That's just I did see naturally.
Same
says-
reason why
if you catch
elementary-
him, like right now thinking about it, it might actually feel like. But if you catch him just like mid flow, it's gonna be museum.
Mike pointed that out, and I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like why elementary school teachers all say treasure instead of treasure. You ever notice that?
No,
Yeah, dude, I remember. Maybe it was just in my elementary school. But
bro, I don't remember that at all. Treasure.
yeah, there's just like weird colloquialisms.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
Which, oh, never mind.
All right, you got anything else?
Nah, dude.
All right, cool. What about you, Max? You got anything else?
No, that threw me for a loop there. Got way off topic. I lost all my trains of thought.
Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's sign off then. Hey, guys, make sure you follow us on all our social medias. We got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Well, X, formerly known as Twitter. And, hey, get on our online shop. I think it's the pinned post on our Instagram. Link's probably in the bio, I hope.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And,
buy some gear.
If we end up doing more of that Jeopardy stuff, if any people from the gym or anyone that watches wants to send in like possible questions for that, just DM it to the account. I'll check it out and I'll
Or even topics.
Yeah.
possible topics, anything about that Jeopardy stuff. If we want to keep doing that,
Yeah, it was fun. I like
those
it.
will make good
Clips.
things for people to watch on their own and kind of guess along with. So if
Yeah.
anyone's got any ideas for that,
Super
send
fun.
that in.
Right on. All right. That's it for us. We'll catch you next time.